So welcome. We are at the turning point of these videos because we have two of the leaders, and we've been interviewing some of the congregation, but this is really an honor, and thank you guys for being, the first two leaders to step out and take this little risk with me. Because I just see it. I had so much fun talking with you guys at the picnic that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so. I wish I had the camera there.
Right.
Is what I wish. So let's just start with that. I believe the whole story. First of all, I'm going to ask how you two met.
Well.
You start.
Okay, I'm gonna start with around 18, 19 years old.
You were 18 or 19?
Yeah, 18 or 19 years old. I remember even the place where I was in my house. It was the laundry room.
The laundry room.
And I was praying, and I just heard the Lord saying, not audible, but just the Lord saying that I'm gonna marry an American. A gringo.
A gringo.
This is in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica,
Yeah.
I'm gonna marry a gringo. That I was gonna live in the States. That we're going to have 5 kids. And
kids.
That he was gonna be a missionary kid.
That your husband was a missionary kid, yeah.
Yeah.
But that you were going to have 5 kids.
Yeah.
So,
and my first kid was gonna be a boy.
But so you hadn't even met him yet.
No, and I went I knew that was the Lord talking to me because it was just like, it surprised me. Right? So I go to my mom and I told her. She exploded in laughter. She told me, "Where are you gonna meet the gringo?" There was no way. We didn't have any connections with Americans, nothing.
So even in your church or
No.
you didn't know any gringos.
No, any gringos. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
She starts laughing.
yeah. So the time passes. I'm trusting in what the Lord was told me.
And you're praying for your husband.
And I'm praying for my husband. So at that time, I got to meet a guy.
Got to meet.
Yeah, meet a guy. His name was Patrick, and
Patrick.
yeah, and he was gonna come to the States. He was gonna go to Christ for the Nations, and I thought, and I didn't like him, but I thought, oh my gosh, maybe this is my husband, but maybe I heard the Lord wrong in certain points, because he told me he was gonna be a son of missionaries. He didn't, but I was dating him for 2 weeks, and I say no. Right?
Okay. So let me ask you. Sorry to interrupt, but this is just so fascinating. So you met this guy that came from the United States named Patrick. So he's a gringo.
No. He was a Costa Rica, half gringo.
His mom.
His dad was American. His mom was Costa Rican.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was half and half. But God told you a gringo.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 weeks into going out with
he
them.
was not son of missionaries.
Oh, and he wasn't the son of a missionary.
Yeah, so I thought, maybe I heard the Lord
But he was
wrong.
going to go to Christ for the Nations. So.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
thought,
that worked.
Maybe it's that, right? But after 2 weeks, I broke up with him. So I thought maybe I didn't hear the Lord, at all. So then my friend Juanita Sarcone invite me to this Christian.
Can I just say, so this is your best friend, or one of your best friends that you were going to law school with.
Yes.
And you're taking classes together.
Oh, wait. Now, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that at the party. You were a law student?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
No, are you a lawyer?
Not a practicing lawyer.
Never practiced.
But she got her degree as a lawyer.
Shut up. In Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Costa Rica, yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, well, I missed that. If you said that at the party, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm really impressed with
So
you
this
right
would
now.
have been like in the second year of of a law school that you and your friend you're going to law school together. You had a class that evening, right?
So we had a class the evening. It was a sociology class, and I told the Lord, I'm so bored. Like my life was very boring, and my dad was very jealous, so I was very, confined. Control. So so my dad was a good dad. I just want to honor my dad, but it was so.
Did you have siblings?
Yes, a sister.
So you were older or younger?
Older.
So you're the oldest. So your dad would be very protective.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it happened that in the middle, I was with my friend Juanita. In the just starting the class, the teacher says, "Okay, I'm canceling this class." So my friend invited me to the skating park.
So basically, you're saying the class is canceled.
Yeah. And
she was aware of this Christian roller skating party, and my sister, this roller skating party was being put on by this Christian group called El Movimiento, that my sister was part of. She was part of this Christian movement in Costa Rica, and so she invited me to come to the party, and I reluctantly went to this party.
Okay.
And Cindy and her friend, their class is canceled. They go to this party.
Yeah, and she introduced me to Jonathan.
Okay.
So we were skating and talking and everything, and then we sat in a corner, and then I heard the Lord say, "This is your husband," and I go, "Oh my gosh, no, Lord, again." I was like because in the process of learning to hear the Lord, even when the Lord speaks to us personally, there must be confirmations on the way, right? So he told me, "This is your husband," and I go, "Oh Lord, here I go again." So
how long had it been since you broke up with the gentleman?
I think maybe a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then we met another time because he was gonna go to
I was going. This is when we met was what would have been my sophomore year from college. I went to Oral Roberts University, and for my freshman year in my what would have been my sophomore year, I took a year off from school, went back to Costa Rica, and so this roller skating party was actually just a few weeks before I was going to be flying back to the United States to go for my sophomore year, and
so we through the whole year we wrote letters.
Okay, but let's get back to the skating party. Let's not skip too fast because I want to hear your side too. So you go to this reluctantly.
I go to it reluctantly, and
he does.
But well, that's right.
And
because
your
class was canceled, and you went to this because you were bored.
Yeah.
And you wanted something to do because you're not going to class.
Yeah.
So the last thing on your mind is that you're going to meet anybody.
Oh no.
So then you are introduced to Jonathan.
Yeah. And
you go around, and the Lord tells you, how many times did you go around the skating rink?
Not too many, right?
She claimed that I was.
No, wait. We're gonna get to you. I want to hear your side. How many times did you go around?
Well, I remember he didn't. Was skating very good, so I took his hand because he was like, I felt he was gonna fall down.
He thought he was
gonna. So I took the lead, and I was very shy. I mean, it's still like a little bit shy side, but so I helped him not to fall down. And then,
but the Lord hadn't told you that at that point.
No, most of the time we spent talking around the table. No, most of the evening we spent at a table off to the side, off the skating rink, where we talked, and where I was falling in love with her because of her love for the Lord, and that's when the Lord told you.
Yeah. So we wrote letters for a year. And after a year...
Okay, you're skipping again. Sorry, this is just too good to skip over. So you're meeting, you're talking for the evening, and then you start to skate, but he's not that great of a skater, according to her. Okay, we'll get to you in a second. Because you reached out to hold his arm because you thought he was going to fall.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really good point, ladies. Maybe take the guy skating and see if he can skate. No. So you reach out, and when you reached out to kind of steady him, because you're shy, you're not being forward.
No.
You're just trying to help the man.
Yeah.
And when you did that, did anything like shift in you? Like
No, it was. I remember. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember. You know, we sat in a corner of the skating on the floor.
Off the floor.
Off the floor.
okay.
And as we were talking, you know, the Lord told me, "This is your husband."
So this was after going around skating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't spend much time on the
Yeah.
skating rink. It was mostly off the side where all the lounging tables were,
Oh, okay.
where we were next to a window. If I remember right.
Yeah.
And so you, at that point, you didn't want to go to this. Your sister sort of coerced you into going.
Yeah.
And then you go, and then you're introduced. Who introduces you to?
So her best friend Juanita, who I went to this English-speaking youth group. Even though we're in Costa Rica, I went to this English-speaking youth group. There, her friend Juanita attended as well, and so she knew me. And so she was the one that introduced me to Cindy.
Okay, so did you speak English at that time?
No, not at all.
You spoke no English?
No.
How did you guys? Oh, you. But you.
Oh, no,
Listen,
but he is
I'm fluent in
fluent.
Spanish,
He's
yeah.
fluent.
You're fluent in Spanish, and you speak no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, you are introduced by Juanita, your best friend, that you guys should have been in class with.
Yeah.
But your sister brings you. Does she know Juanita?
Probably because she went to she also went to the youth group. Yeah.
Okay. And how
She went to two different youth groups. She went to the English-speaking youth group that I went to, and she also went to her Spanish-speaking movement that this party was a part of.
Okay. And how old were you?
So we were both 20 years old at that time.
Okay. So you're the same age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you go to this party. You meet this beautiful woman. What was your first reaction when you were introduced to her? I mean, did you go thinking you were going to meet your
No,
wife?
no, not at all. So the chemistry didn't happen with just meeting her. It was when we were sitting down talking to one another, and her love for Jesus, love for God, her tenderness, her sweetness, all that exuded. And that's when I started falling in love with her. Yeah.
That first night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I really like him.
So you really did feel that spark.
Yeah.
You're not yet thinking that because the Lord told you.
Yeah.
But you didn't say anything to him. Oh, the Lord told me you're my
Oh, that's one thing about Cindy is that she's always very careful when it's things like that. There's all these things that the Lord, all these bullet points that God told her ahead of time about her husband and her that she never divulged that. So she was
after we got married.
Yeah.
I told him.
And in fact, even after the 5 kids is when I heard about the 5 kids.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right, because the Lord told you that. Oh, yeah, because would that have scared you?
Yeah, we had planned 4 actually. That's a long story why it ended up being 5. But,
Wow, that's beautiful story.
So basically, within a few weeks, I was going to be heading back to the United States to finish for my sophomore year. So I visited her house once, and we also went on a date, an official date, once. It was a full gospel businessmen's meeting. There was
Hang on. A full gospel businessmen's meeting was their first date. I just didn't want you to miss that. You were about to go back to the United States to finish and so even after the roller skating, how long was it before you went to your first date?
Oh, I think within a few weeks.
Yeah, because
he was going to be leaving.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you take her to the businessman.
It was Charles Duke. He was the astronaut. He was the invited speaker. That's the only thing I remember.
Did he speak Spanish?
Oh no! I'm sure he had a translator.
Oh, he had a translator.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we wrote letters for a whole year, and then there was a point that I say, well, Lord, I have to insinuate something here that I really like him. So I sent a letter saying I really like your eyes and your hair and whatever. I don't know, just to like, okay, just say something.
Do you still have the letter?
No.
Not about that letter, but we kept, because we in addition to that year of dating through letters, we went steady through letters for 2 years.
Wow.
So 3 letters of writing, we kept a lot of those letters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So while she's during that, so she's writing this letter, right, where she's expressing her, what she's feeling towards me.
Admiration.
And before I received that letter, it was the summer of 1981. So it had been the summer of 1981. I had a summer job. I was staying with a Costa Rican family in Chicago, and I had a summer job in a pizzeria in the Water Tower Plaza, next to the John Hancock building, all these skyscrapers. And I was taking a break from work. It was a work break, and I was lying down in a little park, little green grass, looking up at the skyscrapers, and I was thinking, if I don't ask her to be my girlfriend now, somebody else will. So that night, with a little coaching from the Costa Rican mother who lived in the house, I got this letter where I asked her to be my girlfriend, and our letters crossed in the mail.
Yeah. And then so we knew that we like each other, and then
Oh, but tell about your mommy.
yeah, that's what I was trying to do. So one time I came from college, and I found my mom beaming with happiness, and she told me, "Oh, Jonathan asked you to be your girlfriend, their boyfriend or whatever."
Yeah.
She was so excited. She had opened the letter.
She read it before
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
What?
I just started laughing, because she was so happy. I don't. Yeah.
And it's strange because
That's
like
awesome.
even your dad liked me.
Yeah.
Her dad was very jealous,
Ooh,
very
yeah.
protective.
Very protective. Yeah.
In fact, that boyfriend Patrick, or was it Patrick? Who was the guy that he punched?
Oh, that was my first boyfriend.
Oh, your first boyfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, he was so jealous. The guy came to give me a serenade in the night, right? And then the woman's supposed to go out.
Sure.
My dad went out, punched him.
Punched him after he was doing a serenade.
Yeah.
Oh my! And you knew this,
No.
No.
This is before we met.
but had she told you that?
Oh
story?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, but the first time that my dad met Jonathan, he really liked him. He was happy with Jonathan.
Were you nervous to meet him?
I don't remember being nervous. No.
Because I know that the Latin American fathers that are good fathers, I know several of them, and they're very protective over their daughters.
Yeah.
It's like it's a thing, a protective thing.
Yeah.
So when you were going to introduce it, did you even tell them after that skating rink night about Jonathan?
When did your dad first find out?
No, I guess when the letter was start. Oh no, actually, when you came, for the date, you met Daddy.
Okay.
The first date.
The first date.
Yeah, the first guy was a Christian too, but he didn't like him. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's because God knew.
God knew,
yes,
right?
and
Yeah,
yes, He used your dad to protect you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the interesting thing about this is that all the time that we were writing letters, his family took me under their umbrella, and I basically dated his family.
Because I was in the States.
They-
I would only come
That's
to Costa Rica.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd only come to Costa Rica once a year at Christmas time to see my parents. But my parents, they're missionaries in Costa Rica. So yeah, you dated. You spent more time with them.
Yeah, but because we only see each other 2 weeks in December.
Yeah.
All those years.
For Christmas vacation.
Yeah. And other than that, it was all letter writing.
And in one of those visits, my mother-in-law shared with me that when Jonathan was a baby, he used to sing. She used to sing to him.
Get along home, Cindy, Cindy. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy.
No.
Get along home, Cindy, Cindy. I'll marry you someday.
Shut up.
And then the funny thing also was when in the beginning when the Lord started talking to me about my husband, I was watching the Waltons.
This is before you
I met him. Watching the Waltons series. I don't know, probably the young people don't know
the
that
Waltons.
The Waltons.
It's a pretty wholesome show. Yes.
And the main character, one of the main characters was the John Boy, and I was in love with John Boy. He was a writer. He was such
I had a crush on John Boy
You
too.
did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love John Boy.
Oh yes. So I'm watching the series and I tell the Lord, can my husband be like John Boy? and the funny thing, he looked like John Boy.
And I'm an author. Like
And
John
he's
Boy.
an author, and he's such a good brother, and everything.
Because in the program, John Boy was the eldest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the lights would all go off at the end of
Yeah.
the night, and basically John Boy would always be. He was the big, older, loving brother for all his kids, all his brothers.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Sarah Ellen, or whoever. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and when one of my first times when I went, with her mom, I realized that they call him John Boy.
Yeah. So my name is Jonathan, but they would call me John Boy.
John Boy, that's so cool. You can't make this stuff up. This is how you know it's Jesus.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you guys get in arguments and stuff, do you remind each other of this story right here? Remember, you're John Boy and God brought us together.
Yeah, no, he's an incredible husband.
How long have you two been married?
It's it'll be 42 years now in December.
42 years. And would you say, even though you know this was, and you cannot deny the story because you just heard it, that this was a match made in heaven?
Yeah.
Would you say a match made in heaven is perfect?
No.
Ah!
No.
Thank you for that.
Well, see, I'm a chemist and
Yeah.
she's a lawyer, right? So I say that she's my reaction and she says I'm her case.
That's beautiful. That it takes time to work even though you have a match made in heaven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even though God brings you together, the whole purpose of marriage is really to work things out in our imperfections.
Right.
Would you say that to be
Yeah,
true?
for sure.
After 42 years,
Yeah.
they would be experts at this. So you would understand even the beauty of your occupations, of you being a lawyer and you being a scientist, and he's your case and she's your reaction, which is awesome. It's beautiful. But that just shows the humanity side of even leaders in a church. And this is actually where I wanted to go if the Lord was going to lead that way. Is that even though you're leaders in a church, we all know that the church is full of people. And when people are involved, there's issues that come up because we're not perfect. None of us are.
Right.
When you come together in such a beautiful story of your God bringing you together at the age of 19, him telling you you're going to have a husband, a gringo of missionary parents, and you're going to have 5 kids. How many kids do you have?
5.
So you know.
And God told you that the firstborn was going to be a boy.
Oh yeah.
And your first
Which was a boy. Yeah.
is a boy, which we're going to get him, because isn't he involved with the church as well?
Yeah.
So we're going to get him, because he actually is perfection at this type of thing.
Yeah.
But the beauty of your marriage of 42 years, a match made in heaven, we would all agree, wasn't and isn't perfect, because you're not perfect.
Right.
So you work at it,
Right.
which is a beautiful picture of even the church. And this is where I was really praying that it would get to this point, because the beauty of where we're at in the church, the modern church today, there's this sort of like the young people don't even want to come to church. It's boring. The leaders are tired because there's just so much going on. But the beauty of community, which is what I love about Faith Worship Center, is you guys are a part of this Because you've been a part of the Faith Worship Center for how long?
Oh boy.
Since '99.
Yeah.
We visited first in '98, but we when we moved here to Townsend in September '99, and since then it's been steady
So
here.
25?
So
Yeah. No,
No.
26 years.
26 years, and you guys have been a part of this beautiful community that Pastor Daryl and Lynn have fostered
Yeah.
for 36 years. So they had been a church for 10 years when you guys came along.
Right.
And then, but you guys have seen a lot of transition even in the last 26 years.
Yeah.
And not only in the church, but in our communities. So I'm taking the marriage, I'm taking how God brought you together, and I'm actually using it for a metaphor of even the church. How a lot of times people will feel called to come to a church and start to attend the church, but there's all these issues, and they think not everyone. I'm going to put it on me. I thought the leaders, anybody up on the stage or anybody with the microphone,
Right.
they must be the authoritarian right now, in a good way. Like when I was younger, I'm like, okay, they must have all the answers and they must have it all together, until I grew up and became a leader. And I began to realize, wait a minute, this takes work.
Yeah.
So to be a part of a community as amazing as Faith Worship Center is, it takes a bit of work.
Right.
And something that I've noticed and then got to hear, and we've just scratched the surface. There's so much more. There's so much more to this story. But what I'm learning and what I'm witnessing from a distance is how that you absolutely love the Lord and you love the community. No matter what you've seen.
Right.
And you're not perfect.
Right.
Leaders are not perfect. But we are held to a different standard, a different, even in the Lord's eyes. I mean, it's a heavy responsibility. So let me ask you quickly, and you don't have to, you can go into as much detail or as little as you want. As being leaders, so you're elders is what I'm understanding, and I know I've heard you speak. I don't know if I've heard you speak, like preach or teach.
Like 3 times now.
I have.
Okay, I don't know if I've been around.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's amazing because your story, and you're absolutely a reflection of the love of Jesus.
Right.
I mean, you radiate the love of Jesus. And I've heard you transition, and I know you hear from the Lord. So just saying that, you two are very involved with the community from a leadership perspective, and you've raised your kids here.
Right.
All 5 of them, correct?
Yep.
What would you say has been the most challenging part of leading in an environment that you're responsible for? Like, what has been your challenges as leaders?
You start with it, since you're the
for me,
prophetic team leader.
you know, I love my team. They're so precious. No, for me, the most important thing is communication, vulnerability, and transparency.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's getting married with my baby. You know, everything flows out of God's love. I'm gonna put the picture of our marriage. You know, the Bible verse that says, "Husband loved the wife as Christ loved the church and gave herself for her."
Yes.
He has loved me that way. Gonna cry.
Wow.
He has bring healing to all the wounded parts of my heart as I was raised up, and you know, so the Lord used him as an instrument of healing. He helped me to open up to conversations, because in my house, you know, I couldn't speak. I couldn't give opinion, you know, because my dad will get upset, you know. So the fact that he was helping me to get out of what I was feeling brings healing. So for me, the community is so important. In the community, to open up, to have heart-to-heart conversations, just to be transparent, knowing that I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, but the Lord loves us. And I carry a part that the other people have need, and the other person carry a part that I need.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
That's for me, that's the big challenge. Is just to for people to understand that that we can be community, we can relate to one another without any fear, because they are loved.
Okay, let me ask you about that though. Without any fear. So if what I'm hearing you say, it is in a healthy environment, church environment, when you're being real and vulnerable and honest and open, but you have an issue as a leader, like you're saying, your team. So with your team, who like are you the are you the head of the intercessor? Who's
No, I lead the prophetic team.
Prophetic team. Okay, so how many people have you got in your environment?
Around 11, 12, something like that.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
So of your 11 and 12, knowing that they carry so much weight even for the church, what if they have an issue and they come even with each other? How do you, without fear, because that's the whole thing that I'm hearing you say, how do you as the leader of your team get people to feel comfortable enough to come and talk to you without fear of retribution or getting kicked out of the church or whatever?
I guess as a leader, my type of leadership is that everybody will share. I'm not leading. I'm here and you're there, and I give the orders.
I love that.
I don't like that. I like it. We're a team. Everybody contributes. Everybody is free to give their part and everything. So in that type of environment, it's easy for somebody to trust that I'm going to listen, because I'm listening to them in my meetings, So
and the sweetness she carries, So it's the atmosphere that she creates in the prophetic team is one of freedom and openness and grace, and she doesn't like to confront. But when she does, when she has to, and it's you're off to the side with somebody who, because we have certain protocols for the prophetic team, and if somebody gets off kilter a little bit, she brings some alignment. But the way she does it, she cannot hurt a fly.
So there's the fear. Because perfect love, like what you're explaining, she is casts out that fear. That's beautiful. That's the best way to lead is through serving. That's beautiful.
And also see. I think another important aspect of listening to a person talk, even when they're having an issue, and they're like, is to listen beyond the words and look at their heart.
Beautiful.
Where is that person? What are their those reactions coming from? That's from a wounded heart. So you know what I mean. Instead of
So then that brings up a great point. So if your team exposes that there's an issue and they're coming out of a wounded heart, would you obviously pray with them, talk with them? Would you then maybe send them to have a sozo or to talk to someone else, or how do you manage that?
I will, but I guess I feel so good, with my team. I don't know. I feel. What do you think, honey?
And that we always do recommend, if there's something, we always let people know about our sozo and so forth.
That's good.
She's also involved in prophetic deliverance as well.
Okay.
And
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So if a person, and this is hypothetical, this has never happened to my knowledge here, I'm sure it hasn't, But what if one of your team members, I'm just being real with people
Yeah.
that are looking for a really good place to land. And it sounds to me like, and I've experienced that this is, but what happens if a person gets on the team? And first of all, how does that even look? Do they apply? Do they come to you? How do they get involved?
I usually, I guess it depends on the person. If the person I see that he has had a prophetic training already, so I will just give them, what is our protocol and our heart as a team.
Okay.
So, and then I will see, how they, prophesy or
Okay.
give words or anything. But if a person is starting, just interested to hear the Lord, is going to a training.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have to go to training even before. But even those who, in the case who we've seen already have prophetic experience and training, we might let them join the team and be involved in prophecy. But when the next round of prophetic training does come around, yes, they will have to go through that. So we do have different rounds of prophetic training.
Beautiful. So it takes a little bit of time to build trust with you and you with them and that kind of thing, which is great. That's what a marriage does. Takes time.
Yeah.
What would you, or how would you handle an individual that's dealing with, let's say, something that's like very private and maybe even a little hidden, and they're getting into the prophetic ministry and they're having an issue, I don't know, let's just pull one out of, let's say pornography, because that seems to be prevalent. But what would you do with somebody that would finally feel safe enough to come to you and say, hey, I've got to confess something, the Lord's dealing with me and I'm dealing with an issue about pornography. How would you, as the leader of this group, manage that?
I will just say, obviously refer it to Soso.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, Soso, just I will say, if, they're affecting, the way, their ministry, they're ministering, I will definitely.
So Soso is a inner healing ministry.
Yeah, definitely, send them to.
What does the word sozo mean?
Saved, healed, and delivered.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. That's why we call it the inner healing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, but just to take care of them, for them to be healed.
So that's part of what I'm saying as leaders. We have to deal with real life issues, and sometimes people don't feel safe enough in the church to be real. And from what I'm hearing you say, you create that atmosphere so that people can actually come because you want them to be free.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody hiding anything. You want that freedom. And that is one of the things about a marriage for 42 years. You go to each other and you have these conversations, not in front of the kids maybe or anybody else, but just the two of you.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of community. But it's also the hardest thing about community. Because community isn't just coming to church on Sunday for 2.5 hours or once a week. It's literally building that community like what you're talking about, the vulnerability. I love that. It's beautiful that you have a team. And so just in case you are interested in joining the prophetic team or you have a prophetic gift, it sounds to me like this amazing woman would take you under her care and guide you through the prospects of becoming a prophetic team member here at Faith Worship Center. And you lead men's groups. I mean, what do you have a team?
So I don't have a team, but I'm involved in different ministries. So I partner with Cindy, and she's the main lead in the prophetic team. I'm her basically with her in the leading that.
And Amy Wolf too.
Yeah. So Amy and you are the primary leaders.
Yeah.
But I'm always there as a teacher. I help make sure everything's aligned.
Yes.
Yep. That's good.
And definitely involved with the men's ministry, and I love teaching as well. So.
Which is beautiful because obviously the foundation of the Word of God is the truth that we stand on. And the young people, again, that come to a service don't always get an opportunity to actually prove you. in your teaching. So how do you, in your teaching, I'm assuming you have the gift of teaching,
Yes.
or you have the, what we would say, office of teacher. Is that correct?
Well, I love, whether it's an office or not, I believe that God has given me part of my leadership responsibility is as a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, to me, is not just it's imparting not just the truth of God, but it's his heart as well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when people come into a new environment and they sit, sometimes they won't even take notes. I'm guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you say things that the Lord has
Mm-hmm.
shown you,
Right.
and then
Right.
so you
Right.
do a deep dive into
Right.
what the Lord
Right.
has shown. So I'm assuming you spend hours
Yeah.
studying a topic, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, he does. And going through a topic, would it be possible sometime in the future for you, as you're teaching? I've talked with my kids about this a few times. I've seen it done in different environments, but I don't know how it works with a teaching gift. If after you speak, you open it up, are there any questions? I'm not even sure if anybody would respond, but I just wonder if some of the things that we're seeing on college campuses today, I don't know if you know who Charlie Kirk is.
No.
He goes around, he's the founder and leader of TPUSA, which is Turning Point United States, and he goes on to college campuses. And he presents an idea or a teaching, and then he opens up the microphone for people to come and talk. In fact, he wants people that have a different view than he has to come to the microphone. What would that look like for you as a teacher if you did hours and hours of studying,
Right.
and then at the end of you teaching,
Right.
you open it up for questions, especially people that disagree with what you're saying?
Right. So I would probably, what I would say was after the service, because we always end the teaching is always ended with inviting people to come with the prayer ministry team to be able to be ministered to. So usually we do not have a time for questions afterwards, but I probably would basically say, and by the way, if you have any questions, if I somehow jolted anything and you want to ask me questions about it, feel free after to come up and ask me. Yeah.
But also you have a heart to kind of create or be a part of a group that, leaders that, that have different positions to come together and talk about just.
So we have our leadership team basically. We have a couple different leadership teams, but one is called the Builders. We basically have, there's a lot of time for conversation, exchange, and where we talk about our differences and so forth. We also, home groups is definitely a wonderful place for example, just so that's another avenue, because there's unlimited time. We're going to be heading up a home group here in the fall. We have been going for about 15 years,
Awesome.
which we discontinued for a while, and now we're getting it back again. But that's a wonderful time also, so when people have questions, that if to be able to get into discussions and yeah.
So you say the home groups will start up again in the fall?
Yeah, we're going to be starting one up in the fall, and I believe there's another one. I believe there's a couple that are starting up in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're obviously over time a little bit because we have to go back and look and see how much I erased and missed, which we will fill that gap. But just for those of you as we end this session, if they want to get involved in a home group, I'm sure that it'll start to be notified online, and then if you come to service, because that is a great place to connect again.
Right, it's part of the building community, which that there's a place. It's a family atmosphere. It's in laid back.
Home, in your
somebody's
home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to encourage you to look online and watch for that to happen in the fall. It's summertime, and that's something I'm learning a lot about this place, is that people, especially the New England, I'm from California, so / Florida / now I'm in Colorado Springs, but at any rate, you're out all the time. Here in the wintertime, everybody's in because it snows and it's cold and it's, you know, inclement weather, so it's not fun to get out in. So in the summertime, everybody leaves. They go on vacation and they're out, you know, doing stuff. And so it's beautiful to have connections in the fall.
Right.
They're going to start up, I'm assuming September, August, September.
Probably in September sometime.
September sometime. Because you obviously have a great teacher. Now you see Cindy and her team every Sunday, but I would imagine that even in the prophetic teams, that the small group or the home group would be the place to really connect and ask some brilliant questions. Especially, I want to challenge everyone, if you don't understand something, or maybe you even see it a little bit different, because it sounds to me like Jonathan welcomes that.
Well, I love it.
And loves that, to have a good conversation. Because what we have to understand is that all of the leaders on the front end of services don't have all the answers, but they do have a lot of time that they spend before the Lord. But we all have a piece of what the Lord is saying, and so to come together, especially to meet someone who loves to teach, have that gift to welcome questions and to actually ask and interact is building community. So I want to encourage everyone, if you're looking for a good church, well, you're meeting two of really powerful leaders that have an incredible testimony. And again, I want to challenge you on Sunday to go and ask them a little bit more about their story, because it is fascinating. We just scratched the surface of Cindy and Jonathan. So thank you again for your being real with us.
You're welcome. It's
fun. It's fun, and we'll have to do this again.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
awesome. Hope you enjoyed this show, and I hope you come back for more. Bye.
Thank you.